Hi, this is Luana Rubin from Equilter.com. I recently took a short trip to England and was visiting in London and in Kent, staying in Canterbury. And one afternoon I went over to visit Cas Holmes in the little town of Maidstone to visit her home and studio. I'd like to share with you this interview and this tour that I did with Cas, and we can see some of her beautiful and very unusual textile art. She really specializes in working with found items and scraps and hand embroidery, and we're carrying one of her books, her most recent book right now. She does mention a forthcoming book, and we have a couple of her books that are on back order that will be arriving sometime in the next several months. So watch for that in our emails. But for now, please enjoy this little tour of Cas Holmes' home and studio.
Hello, I'm Cas Holmes. Welcome to my studio, and it's great to be here with Luana from Equilter. And this is where I work when I can. I teach from this space, as well as work on my sewing machine during the winter months when it's cold. A lot of the stuff from the everyday has become very important to me in my recent practice because of the limitations I have on where I can go, as I'm also a carer. But one of the benefits of learning from that experience is valuing what's close to me. And my most recent publication, Embroidering the Everyday, talks about the joy that we can find in looking at representations from things we find around us, from the foliage that grows in our gardens to found materials. So anybody who knows my work knows I work with found materials as a means to develop your ideas and processes. And I'm absolutely thrilled that Equilter is going to carry Embroidering the Everyday as well as some of my other publications. So just pop along and have a look. Okay, I'm producing a book called Soulful Stitch, co-written with artist Deena Beverley, which is due out in October 2025. And this is where I like to work. It's a studio space which is full of light and experimentations of things that I've been working on recently. And for developing new ideas, I'm going to be at the Knitting and Stitching Show. And I've been looking at the plants and flora that grow along the edgelands of where I currently live. And what I discovered when working is that we see these plants in our cloth. So this is a back of an old obi from Japan. And so I've been playing around with bringing out those little golden elements, because one of the things I found about all living things, because we're made of stardust, including myself and my partner, is we have tiny bits of gold in us. And I think that's a little bit of joy we need to hold on to, because within those glimmers that are in our bodies, it enables us to function, transmit signals through the nervous system. And I just think without that little bit of gold in all of us, it's one of the things that helps make us human. So I'm looking always at glimmer. And you might see this little text up here. He reminds me, this is Winston Churchill, who is far from a perfect being, but he was at the time. And I am a Churchill fellow. And I love that quote: failure is often the making of our heroes. So it's often the things that I perceive as failures in my life that have given me the resilience I'm not a hero, I'm just an ordinary person doing what I need to do. And I hate to be called that sometimes in my current circumstances. But the fact is, we can always find that bit of strength in us if we recognise those little glimmers of hope. So making a meaning comes together in my work. and again, welcome to my home. My home is really a big studio, but this is where my partner sleeps, Derek, and this quilt behind you is called Derek's Garden, and it honours the work that he made in the garden. Everything about the piece has been hand stitched, things that he loves about the garden. And when he came home to me after his stroke, I placed the piece together. It's used seed packets and old pieces of tablecloth, and things I discovered, such as the watering can had a leak, or there were daisies I planted in the watering can that no longer would function. That was a reminder that we can find connections with our work and the quilts that we make to the people we love and care about.
Thank you, Cas, for allowing us to have a brief but intimate tour of your home and studio and to admire some of your work up close. We appreciate you allowing us to come in and spend time with you, and thanks to all of you for watching this video. Watch for Cas's book and her upcoming reprints. Thank you. Bye-bye.